Don Lothario, The Sims' very own man-slag. He's just a cheeky chappy who took the idea of a love triangle and raised it to the next level. So let's explore him. So, Donny Boy was introduced in The Sims 2. The Sims 2 had stories at the beginning of entering a new neighbourhood, so your first insight of Don could be found here. We know from these stories that he's engaged to Cassandra Goth, the daughter of the infamous Bella Goth and her husband Mortimer. The main storyline of The Sims 2 is focused on the disappearance of Bella Goth, and Mr. Don Lothario had a part to play in her disappearance. If you don't know about the disappearance of Bella Goth, I'll leave a link to my video on her story in the video description and at the top of the screen now. You don't have to have watched it to be able to enjoy this video, but I would recommend watching that video first. So as I mentioned, there is information provided in The Sims 2 when you enter the neighbourhood, but there are even more nuggets of information to uncover through gameplay. When you play as the Goth and Lothario household, you quickly learn that Bella Goth was at none other than Don Lothario's house on the night of her disappearance. Whilst we don't know exactly what Bella was doing there, we do know a few things that happened. We know that Don tried kissing her, but she turned him down. My guess is that she was probably put off by his engagement to her own daughter, but what do I know? Trying to cheat on your fiancé with their parent, quite the dick move there, Don. We also know that Bella used Don's telescope to look at the stars. It was believed that she was abducted by aliens, and whilst we don't know for certain that it happened on Don's rooftop, it's heavily implied that it did. So, Don was involved in the disappearance of Bella Goth, but in terms of what part he played exactly, that still remains a mystery. What isn't a mystery, however, is how Don likes to treat women. He was quite the ladies' man in The Sims 2, and played multiple women at the same time. As I touched on earlier, Don is engaged to Cassandra Goth, but he also has a few other romances on the go. He's in a romantic relationship with Dina Caliente, one of the new neighbours. And Dina herself has a couple of relationships on the go. You see, as well as hooking up with Don, Dina is also in a relationship with the very wealthy and recently single Mortimer Goth, Bella's husband. It's assumed that their relationship started after Bella's disappearance, as there's nothing else to suggest Mortimer would ever cheat on Bella. You could argue that Dina's intentions with Mortimer weren't the most noble, as there is evidence to suggest that she was also involved in Bella's disappearance, which I expand on a bit more in my Bella Goth video. The general gist of it though is that Dina wanted to marry an old rich man, and so she did what she had to do. And our boy Don didn't stop at just Cassandra and Dina though. Oh no, he had more love to share. He also has a romantic relationship with Dina's sister, Nina Caliente, and also the neighbourhood maid is in his little black book. I suppose this makes sense because Don does have the romantic aspiration, usually meaning that romance sims just want to woo everyone and are a bit scared of commitment. If you play as the Goth family first, you'll notice that the garden is all decked out and ready for the wedding. If you try to marry Don and Cassandra at first, it's very likely that Don will leave Cassandra at the altar and run away. If you spend enough time improving their relationship, however, he just might say yes. He has a negative memory of getting engaged to Cassandra, however if he does marry her, he will have a positive moodlet. Not because he loves her, but because she's rich. But that's enough of Don's love life. Let's talk about Don as a person. So in The Sims 2, Don works in the medical field, so he does have some redeeming qualities. He worked his way to level 4 in that career, and he also has a pretty buff bod, being in the bulked up fitness category. Interestingly, the apple doesn't seem to fall far from the tree with this one. Don is the spitting image of his dad and shares the same hair, eye and skin colour. His parents both had the wealth aspiration, and his paternal grandparents had the romance aspiration, so he's certainly fitting in with the Lothario legacy. Then we move on to The Sims 3. It's worth noting that The Sims 3 is set approximately 50 years before The Sims 2. So Sims like the Caliente sisters and the Goth children don't exist because they haven't been born yet. Bella and Mortimer are there, but they're children. But, interestingly, Don is there. He can be found in the world of Riverview, and in The Sims 3, he's an adult. But how is this possible? Well, I'll tell you. The family bio reads, Don woke up one morning in a whole new world. He remembers stepping onto a telescope, several women laughing, then nothing else until he found himself here. His family bio also reads, Don Lothario was facing a big choice between marriage and continuing to be a man about town. Will his accidental teleportation to a new town change old ways? So it can be safely assumed that his teleportation involved some time travel, and it's likely that it occurred after The Sims 2's starting point. So it begs the question, was the marriage the bio referred to meant to be to Cassandra Goth? It's not been officially confirmed, but my theory is that it is. Therefore, his time travel adventure happened just after The Sims 2. Don doesn't seem to have gone through much personal growth though since The Sims 2, as his personality in The Sims 3 is very much in line with the dirtbag we've all grown to love. He has the personality of a Casanova, and his lifetime wish is to be a heartbreaker. We also learn in The Sims 3 that his favourite food is sushi. In terms of his appearance, Don's hair and eye colour are the same, black and green. His body type has gone from fit to thin. Maybe he took a break from working out after The Sims 2. And interestingly, or more so concerningly, Don's skin colour has changed. He seems to have gotten lighter. Why would they do this? I don't think the change in skin colour is meant to fit into his storyline in any way, but it's just something weird that I noticed. Then comes The Sims 4 and Don makes a return. The Sims 4 is on a different timeline to the other games, so everything we know about Don's life and time travel may as well be forgotten now because it doesn't matter anymore. Don can be found in the world of Oasis Springs, but this time he doesn't live in a bachelor pad of his own. Now he lives with the Caliente family. His personality is somewhat in line with the Don we know so well. He has the aspiration of serial romantic, and he has the alluring and non-committal trait. Just inserting my own opinion here, given that Don has the same personality as in previous games, wouldn't it have made more sense for him to live on his own? One of the main things I remember Don for is having his bachelor pad to himself, allowing one of his many female companions to come over, get some business done, and leave. It seemed like a bit of a revolving door for Don in The Sims 2. So why does he live with the Calientes? Maybe his love for the sisters appear regardless of time. Maybe they were destined to be together, I wondered. No. Nope. Turns out the answer to that question is even more confusing. Don lives in Oasis Springs with the Caliente family, but he has no romantic relationship with either Nina or Dina. But what he does have is something spicy going on with Katrina, the mother. Or at least that's what the family bio says. If you actually play in their household, you'll quickly notice that Don and Katrina aren't all that close. So what the hell happened? We know The Sims 4 occurs on an alternative timeline, but this doesn't even make sense. Why would Don tie himself into a relationship by moving in with his partner and her daughters when he's non-committal? Why would he have a relationship with Katrina when in previous games he was with her daughters? Why would EA want to make this story so weird? Weird and slightly uncomfortable. For now, this is all we know about Don. When The Sims 5 comes, perhaps we'll get the next chapter in his story. Perhaps we won't. If EA continue the pattern of disregarding the storylines that were sewed into older games, then this might just be the end of Don's story. I'm hoping that that isn't the case though. Whilst The Sims 4 is set on an alternative timeline, I can't help but feel bad for the guy. He's represented as, in my opinion, a shell of the character he once was. Sure, he was a selfish player with multiple women on the go, but he was at least unique, and although The Sims 4 took that away from him, we can still look back at the character he once was and hope that he will come back in a way that would be more true to his character in the future. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it insightful. If you did enjoy it, then why not like and subscribe? You know I love it when you do that. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. Am I being too harsh on The Sims 4? Where would you like to see Don in the next game? And that's it. Bye-bye.